Hello, good morning students. So today we are going to continue with the chapter that is physical and chemical changes, standard 7, and up to where we have studied, up to dissolution of a solid in a liquid, we have studied that it is a physical change. So we have studied till the dissolution of sugar in water is a physical change. Afterwards there are topics like evaporation or vaporization or melting and freezing. These are physical changes. So first of all, I want to tell you about the phase changes. What are these phase changes? First of all, you should know there are three phases, that is solid, liquid and gas. Okay, and you see the arrangement of particles as we have studied in chapter matter, the first chapter. So here I want to show you that there are three phases, and those are solid, liquid and gases. Now you should know what are these changes. What is the meaning of phase change? So phase means solid, liquid and gas, that is ice, liquid and water vapor. So phase change means change from one state of matter to another, that is the changes from solid state to liquid state, or liquid state to gaseous state, or vice, or like this, like gases to liquid, liquid to solid, like this, the interconversion between the states of matter, we call it phase change. And how this phase change occur? By changing the condition, by supplying heat, by giving it temperature, right? So like this we can change the phase. So here in this figure you can see that these are the types of changes, like here from liquid to solid. How liquid to solid changes? How the state liquid converts into solid state? By freezing. And how solid state converts to liquid state? By melting. So here in your book it has written that evaporation or vaporization of water is a physical change. Now in your book it's given that evaporation or vaporization is a physical change. Okay, so first of all let's clear about these two terms. See here, evaporation and vaporization. Evaporation means liquid changes to its vapors at a temperature below its boiling point, while vaporization is a process by which liquid changes to its vapors at its boiling point. Now evaporation takes place at all temperature, and vaporization, what about vaporization? It takes place only at a fixed temperature, and we call it boiling point of that liquid. Okay, now evaporation is a slow and silent process, and vaporization is a fast and violent process. Example you see, what are the example? Drying of cloths, right? The rate of evaporation, and it depends on the surface of area. We have studied this, that surface area of the liquid, humidity, wind speed and temperature. And vaporization depends on the surface area, wind speed, humidity and temperature. These are the examples. See, if you drying a cloth, it is an example of evaporation. If we boil some liquid, it is an example of vaporization. So evaporation or vaporization of water is a physical change. How we can say that? See, the slow conversion of liquid into vapor is called evaporation, right? So the evaporation takes place at all temperatures. I've already told you, and it is slow. It's given in your book, you can see it. And it is faster at higher temperature. So now the third point is what? When a liquid is converted into its vapor at its boiling point, the process is called vaporization. I told you that at its boiling point the process is vaporization, and below its boiling point the process is evaporation. So both are similar process. Now it depends on, I told you, that surface area, wind speed, temperature, and temperature is what? Humidity only. Humidity and temperatures are different thing, but temperature means temperature of the surroundings, and humidity means what? The moisture in air. If it is present, it is humidity. Okay. The presence of water vapor in the atmosphere, we call it humidity. So this is physical change. Why? Because when water is heated, it converts into vapor, and when this vapor is formed, and if you cooled it, you get liquid back. This condensed water has all the properties, right? Like original water. The property original water is having, those properties are there also in the condensed water. So evaporation or vaporization of water is a physical change. Now in simple way, we can say that any phase change is an example of physical change. Like melting of solid and freezing of a liquid are also an example of phase change only. How? Because solid converts into liquid by heating. Means if ice, we say ice melts, right? Means what? Solid converts into liquid. And when you cool liquid, it converts into solid. Means freezing of liquid occurs. So this is an example of phase change, and here also these changes are physical change. Why? Because it does not lost its properties. It has not lost its properties, and the composition not changed. Initially also it has 2 hydrogen and an oxygen atom, that is H2O, and after changing also it has 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom, so H2O. So that is why this is physical change. So in any phase change, the composition of the substance remains unchanged. There is no change in the chemical properties of the substance, and the change can be easily reversed by changing temperature. Right? So that is why this evaporation, vaporization, melting, freezing of any states of matter, means solid, liquid or gases, are physical change. Now the next topic is sublimation is a physical change. I hope you can easily correlate with the examples ammonium chloride here in your book, because it is also an example of phase change, and hence it is a physical change because the composition composition not change, and it can easily reverse by changing temperature, and chemical properties also not changed. So that is why it is a physical change. Now let's come to our next topic, that is rusting of iron. What type of change it is? It is a chemical change. Why? Because the new substances is formed. Okay, the surface you can see here, brown powdery substances are formed. Right. Now can you get back iron from this brown powdery substance? No, you cannot get back. Okay. You cannot convert back to iron. And the composition and properties of rust are different from iron. That is why it is a chemical change. The properties, see why? Because first the properties are different. The properties of rust and the iron totally different. And why? Because because rust cannot be converted back to iron by applying any simple physical method. So that is why rusting of iron is a chemical change. And how this rusting formed, you know? If you place any iron to the open environment and it is exposed to air and moisture, that is, it takes oxygen and moisture, that is humid air, that is H2O from like water vapor is also present in the atmosphere. So it takes H2O from air and converted into rust, resulting this. And what is the formula of rust? Chemical formula Fe2O3 dot NH2. Okay, so this is the formula of rust. And what is the formula of iron? Fe. So that is why the properties, the chemical formulas are different, properties are different, and you cannot get back the original substance, that is iron, from this powdery substance, from this brown powdery substance. So we call it a chemical change. Now burning of candle is which type of change? It is physical or chemical change? So burning of candle is both the changes occur here. How? Because wax is melting, that is molten wax is there, you can see here in this figure. So this melting of wax is an example of physical change. Why? Because no new substances are formed and it changes into one thing to other. Like the properties are not different. Initially also it is a wax, and after melting it is also a wax. So that is why it is an example of physical change. Now how it is an example of chemical change? See, if question will come in your exam that melting of wax is which type of change? So it is a physical change. But if question come that burning of candle is which type of change? So you will say it is a chemical change. How? Because the molten wax rises through the cotton thread. Okay, and this cotton thread, you can see here, this cotton thread, it undergoes combustion because it is burning. It undergoes combustion and produces carbon dioxide and water vapor. So this cotton thread gets charred to a black mass. So that is why it is a chemical change. You cannot get original cotton thread from this black mass. So that is why it is a process of this process is a chemical change. Burning of candle is a chemical change. Now this cooking of food is also an example of chemical change. Why? Because if you're cooking something, many chemical reactions takes place within the food. As you are adding oil, these vegetables, and you cooked. So the taste and chemical structure also changes. It is not possible to suppose if your food is cooked, after your food is cooked, that means you cannot get those raw food or these vegetables from the cooked food, right? So that is why you cannot get back. So that is why cooking of food is a chemical change. Similarly, curdling of milk is also a chemical change, which is given in the next topic. How? Because you cannot get or you cannot recover milk from curd. Like what is written in your book, that conversion of milk into curd is called curdling of milk. Right. So during the conversion of milk into curd, many reactions involving proteins, organic acids and fat takes place. Yes. See how you prepare curd in your house. You take milk and add 1 spoon of curd into that milk. Right. And you keep it aside for 1 day or some hours. After that you found that your milk converted into curd. That means what? Curdling happens. So can you get milk back from curd? No, you cannot. So that is why it is a chemical change. It's written here, it is not possible to obtain milk from the curd. So that is why curdling of milk is a chemical change. Now the next topic is digestion of food is a chemical change. How digestion is a chemical change? It is a chemical process. How? Because you see here during digestion, food undergoes many chemical changes. Like proteins, carbohydrate, fats you're taking every day, it gets broken down into simpler substances, means simpler molecules. And these molecules have different chemical structure. Okay, entirely different chemical structure, means the original foods having different structure, and now after you have taken these things, after that it has completely different chemical structure. So it is not possible to obtain the original food from these molecules. These broken molecules, can you get back? Can you recover all those proteins, carbohydrates and fats or the original food from these? No, you cannot. So that is why the digestion of food is a chemical change. So here in your book, the next topic, melting of butter is a chemical change. See, it's very, till now I think it's really very clear about chemical change. As you have studied so many examples of chemical change and why these are chemical change also you have studied. So I think this melting of butter as a chemical change is not that hard you to understand, right? It's not that much tough. So butter is what you all know. Butter is an emulsion of fat and water. It's written here. So if you heat butter, this emulsion breaks up and all the fat among this butter, which is in this butter, gets separated from water to form two layers. Now this fat layer usually called ghee, okay, which is separated. Now this property, like the properties of ghee, is different and the property of butter is also different. So both having different properties. So you cannot get back butter from ghee, right? So therefore melting of butter is a chemical change. Since after melting ghee is formed, so you cannot get butter back. So that is why melting of butter is a chemical change. So till now we have studied about these changes like physical change, chemical change, examples of these, and what are how we call them chemical or physical change. So, and after this the next topic in your book is difference. So I have already told you and I have already make you understand about the differences between this physical and chemical change. So you go through it and afterwards I'm telling you that if any queries is there, you just write it down in the comment box and I will try it to cover it in my next video. So till then you study well. Thank you.